Moolam Gururmurtihi Puja Moolam Gururpadam Mantra Moolam Gururvakyam Moksha Moolam Gurur Kripa Adesh Adesh Alak Adesh. Okay. I would request everybody to be muted till I ask you to speak, which will be soon actually. So, I want to share something with you today, which I had actually prepared. Let me see if that is possible. Last week we had stopped at, I think, the stage of becoming a rishi. Let me quickly run through what I had prepared. What is the content of this GururUpayah? Chaitanya ji, you'll have to mute your phone, your audio. So last time we spoke about, very quickly I'll run through what is happening. The levels of consciousness, uninitiated, which is where we are. And then we spoke about Shrauta Rishi, Khanda Rishi, Rishi, and then Maharishi, Parma Rishi, Deva Rishi, Brahma Rishi, and Dakshinamurti. And we also spoke about the Pramatras. Pramatra is a person or the entity which is receiving the cognition. Jagrata Avastha or Sakala Pramatra, Swapnavastha, Pralayakala Pramatra, Sushupti, Vijnana Kala Pramatra, Turiya, also called Shuddha Vidya, Turiya Tita, or Ishvara Pramatra, Sadashiva, and then Shiva, then Moksha and Adi Shakti. Then we spoke about different types of Dikshas, GururUpayah, which is what you are right now attending. Then there is Anugraha Diksha, then there is Upanayana Diksha, Yogi Diksha, Darshani Diksha, Avatarana Diksha, and Atma Diksha. Then there are some esoteric sadhanas, GururUpayah. I will be giving you a mantra at the end of this session for the people who have come in new, which needs to be chanted. There are some people who are missing from last week's program also, and some of them have told us why they have missed it. They had some other appointments and stuff like that. Then there is Anuvopaya, which has its own Dikshas and Kriyas and Charyas. Then Shaktopaya, Shambhavopaya, Anavopaya. And of course, as you go with, did somebody speak something? No. Okay. As you go ahead in your sadhanas, you will also receive siddhis. Everybody knows about the Ashta Siddhis. There's also a ninth one, which comes into the Natha Rishi Kula, which is the Sarvajnata. Okay, there's just an overview of what we had to speak. Last time, we couldn't speak much because of what was failing, the camera failed and all that. But this is the actual blueprint of how we look at the whole sadhana. Okay, if you look at it, the blueprint of how you can achieve your rishitva. You're here, uninitiated. I hope you can see this. At the bottom left corner, uninitiated, what you consider to be Jagrata Avastha. The Diksha that you will be receiving is the GururUpayah, which is a mantra enrollment. Then once you are able to get through this, you will be able to have some sort of a control over material elements. There'll be a lot of stability and you'll be grounded. We spoke about how right now you have to establish yourself in the Muladhara Chakra. There's also an 8A part, which is the Anugraha Diksha, which we have spoken last time, where we give you the Samaya Kriya. There is a Prithvi Pada, there is Bhuta Shuddhi, which Chaitanya Bharati ji has undergone, and there is Mahakriya Agnipada, and you get mastery over Agnipada. I think is still pending for Chaitanya Bharati ji. Mastery over emotional and other fluidic aspects, because there we deal with the we are just moving towards the Apaspada or the fluidic pada, which happens here in the Swapna, what do you call as the state, which is Pralayakala. Then there is a small Upanayana. That's optional. Not everybody has to go through this. Diksha, there's a Dasa name given, like I was given the name Sri Ramadasa. And then there is a tapakriya, and which leads you to the apaspada. And there is some karma shuddhi, because you have to get rid of all the karmas that you have accumulated over all the janmas of previous births. And there is a pratibimba sadhana, which gives you the control over transmutational energy and creativity and destruction. I'll be taking questions once I reach where we had stopped last week. Khanda Rishi is the person who started working in the Sushupti Avastha, and he's working on the Vijnana Kala. There, the Yogi Diksha is offered, and we start with the Swapna Kriya, which is the Vayupada, and there is the Nidra Shuddhi, and there is some Vana Sadhana where one has to go into a cave or a forest, and there is mastery over movement, thought processes, and breath control. I think this is where we had stopped last week. Chaitanya Bhartiji has raised his hand, so let me just quickly ask. And Ajay Vajpayam. Chaitanya Bhartiji, what was the question?
Actually, Guruji, all these explanations, they are pretty deep. I was just wondering how to actually integrate it in the ongoing sadhana and all. I think it's a premature query, so you can drop it.
So let me tell you what exactly this is. See, we have one unified consciousness, and for brevity's sake, for the sake of a step-by-step progression to the highest consciousness, which we call as Paramashiva or a Paramashivatvam, okay, we have divided in the Natha Sampradaya into 8 levels, but 7 levels which are clear to us, okay? And I told you to visualize Dakshina Murti, the supreme teacher, sitting with the Sapta Rishis as the Saptarishi Mandala and giving discourse silently. And then I asked you to visualize in the last week session that each of these rishis are situated at one level of the unity consciousness. So what are these levels? These levels are apparent so that we can use them to step up towards the Paramashivatva. I hope you're able to understand this. See, what I'm saying is that I want you to visualize the singular consciousness as divided into 7 different conscious levels, okay? And each of these levels, we have given a certain name. And at each level, we will be giving you a combination of kriyas, charyas, and other pathas to work with. These are esoteric internal work. So once you complete the internal work, how do you know you have completed it? You will be, it's not receiving a siddhi, it's just a part of the whole process itself. It gives gifts. So once you have, for example, some mastery over your Muladhara chakra, right? You will be by default receiving a gift, or it will just pop up to you that you have more control over the material aspects of things. Okay? And each of these states, when if you can see, I have written something called Trika here. Can you see? Trika? Now, under the Trika, you are here. Or apparently you think you are here in the Jagrita Avastha. Right? Awake state. From awake state, we move your sadhana to the Swapna Avastha, where the reality undergoes a sort of pralaya, a sort of shaking up of whether this is reality or this is dream, because the further deep you go, the more you'll understand that what you call as Jagrata is also a kind of dream illusion. Okay? Then, once you have woken up in the Swapna, in the dream state, we ask you to work on the person who has woken up. See, if you have woken up in your dream, there must be somebody who is watching that waking up process, right? which is you. Now you are watching yourself in the dream. Correct? So once you start watching yourself in the dream, you need to work on the person who is witnessing the dream itself. Okay. Now that person who has to wake up in the Sushupti is given the Yogi Diksha. Okay. And this, you've heard the famous, shloka from Bhagavad Gita. The yogi is awake when the entire world is asleep. This is a reality. This is not just some sort of a metaphor. Okay. Let's not go into what are the kriyas and the acharya, the charyas to be done. We're not going to go into this segment. First, understand three things. There are three things, right? One, there is a seer. One, there is a seen. And there is a process of seeing. This is what I was explaining to you in the last session. Okay? The seer we call as the rishi. Okay? The seen we call as the chandas. And the seeing itself we call as the devata. And the samhita, the collection of the rishi, devata and chandas is what we are trying to achieve. For example, everybody can see this mobile here, isn't it? Everybody can see this mobile. Now, you are seeing this mobile. There is a mobile which is an object. There is a seer which is you. And there is the act of seeing itself. Correct? There are three things. Now, in the Jagrata Avastha, the so-called awakened state, you are not perceiving the seer. So you have to perceive all three. All three is one. That is the samhita. Okay? How do you do that? We do that with what we call as the preparatory state, which is the samaya kriya, bhuta shuddhi, and the agnipada of mahakriya. Okay? Now, this is a very, very basic level or the basic kriyas from which we have to go upward. Okay? Then you have to wake up in your dream. Then you have to wake up in the Sushupti. Then you have to wake up in the Turiya. Once you wake up in the Turiya Avastha, everybody knows about these four Avasthas, right? Okay, you know about that. So once you wake up in the Turiya Avastha, then we welcome you as a Rishi. That is when you achieve the Rishitva. And here, if you see, there are yogis who are wearing these gold earrings or metallic earrings. They are called Darshini yogis. They are Darshinis. So that is a Diksha given. And there, one has to undergo the Akasha Kriya, the Kula Shuddhi. Okay? And there is some Smashana Sadhana also which is accompanied with it. Why? Because you will understand that. Now here is where I start into this week's explanation. Why are we talking about Smashana Sadhana here? You've got to understand that right now you are in a human body which has traveled across at least 84 lakh, 8.4 million births and deaths. So what we see as Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, the awakening state and the dream state, if you prolong it, if you expand it, you will see that in the universal scheme of things, birth and death are nothing but dream and awakening state of Brahma. We all know that Brahma has a very long life, isn't it? So if you have to become a Brahma Rishi to achieve that state, you have to understand that your life and death is nothing but the dream. When Brahma dreams, you are dead. When Brahma awakens, you are alive. In some of the sampradayas, in some of the lineages, traditions, they say when Brahma is awake, you are awake. When Brahma sleeps, you are dead. It doesn't matter. The idea is that once we reach a state where we are connected to the universal consciousness, okay, the Jagrata Avastha of the collective Rishikula, you will understand that life and death are but dream and sleep and awake state of Brahma himself. Okay, and then you start working at the manas level. Okay, now I understand that it is very difficult if I suddenly start talking about these things. Let me go to the next one. I wanted to tell you a small story which will help you, I think, understand how I met my own guru. Everybody knows that I ran away from home to the Himalayas searching for a guru, because I used to get this call right from my age of 4 or 5. Ever since I can remember, there was a call from a higher institute or a higher kula, which we are now calling as Rishi Kula, Shambhala, or you can call it Siddhashram, Gyanganj, call it whatever. Actually, you don't need to go to the Himalayas to find this. It will reach you wherever you are once you're ready for it. So I went there, and I was in search of the guru, and I found Babaji. And the only question I have ever asked him is, Baba, bhabhi bhi hai? I don't know why I asked him in Hindi, because that is not my mother tongue, or why I did not ask in Hindi or any other language, but I just did that. And out of himself, I saw Shakti coming out. Okay? And then he gave me a mantra, and boom, I was gone. I was into the Gyanganj. Why am I telling you this story? I was into the Shambhala, and whatever was transmitted to me then took me about 5 to 6 years to decipher. So don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to understand. See, the lineage, the Rishikula, people who are chanting, for example, Vivek wrote to me saying that, he is already feeling the connection with all the masters, with a lot of people who are chanting the mantra that I gave last week. So the connection happens, and slowly, not just in your Jagrata Avastha, but in your sleep, in your Sushupti, in your Turiya, in your Turiyatita, even beyond life and death. The whole lineage will keep working on you, because you're not different from me. I am not different from Adi Shakti Natha. Adi Shakti is not different from Shiva or Shakti or the entire universe, because we are all one. You must understand this. I was discussing this with Mohima, and Mohima said, you have to do all this because you're not teaching them the art of surrendering. I asked her, Mohi, you never went to the Himalayas. You never went seeking for a guru. Shiva comes to her at will. And I asked, how do you do this, Mohi? And she said, surrender. Of course, she said, all those spirits or souls in male body don't know how to surrender. Because that's her feeling. I don't think so. So I will be giving you a mantra at the end of this session, which will connect you. And once you feel connected to the larger Rishikula, to the larger Natha Rishis, then you will see that the gliding is very smooth. Everything, see, you will be almost reborn in this body again. Okay? So I will explain slightly easily what happens. See, basically the path of Rishikula is awakening the divine self, awakening the Shiva in you through 5 Dikshas. If you ask anybody who's taken Diksha from us, the first thing we ask them is to accept that they are Shiva. If they cannot understand that they are Shiva, if they can't say Shivoham, that I am Shiva, then the Rishikula cannot welcome you. Okay? If you have that resistance, then there is no point. Okay? Now, the path of Rishikula is from Guru's grace, which is GururUpayah, to the ultimate realization that you are Shiva, that you are it. This is the journey from where you are right now. That's why in the last class I asked you to ask yourself where you are, not who you are, where you are. Okay? And from there to the realization that I am Shiva. This is the journey, okay? What are the 5 Dikshas? What are the 5 Dikshas? Okay. The first Diksha is, I will be giving it to you in case anybody is interested, which is GururUpayah. I hope everybody knows what is Upaya. Do you want to type here what is Upaya? Can you type what is Upaya here? What, according to you, Upaya means? Go ahead, type please. Deepak, I can see your video, but I can't see you typing. Help or support, okay? Everybody, please, let's participate in this so I also get charged up a little. What does it mean?
Is it magic?
Magic. Type. Type. Please type. What is Upaya? I'm going to wait. Anant, Anuradha ji, Bhuvan Singh, Chaitanya Bharti ji, means to connect with the divine. Don't Google it, okay? Deepesh, Hanumesha. That's it. Upaya is remedy. I am Google. Anand says, I am Google. Very good. Fantastic. Guru's magic. Bhuvan Singh ji, what does Upaya mean? Namaste.
Upaya is a method, solution, providing a solution.
Fantastic. Method, solution. Okay. In the Natha Sampradaya, I think the closest one was Meenaji.
Yeah.
Remedy, one, it is everything that you have put there. Also, what we mean here is a skill. You know, in Kannada, my mother tongue, we use the word, he did it with a lot of upaya, very skillfully. Okay? So, what it means here is that there is a skill. I hope all of you know how to cycle. Yeah? All of you know how to cycle. Fantastic. So, if you know how to cycle, you will find that, you know, when you started cycling, you know, you fell, you got up, you fell, you got up, somebody held your cycle to give you a balance, and suddenly you got the skill of balancing. Who taught you? Nobody taught you. Just the practice gave you that skill, that upaya. And if I ask you, how do you do that? If I ask you, how do you balance yourself on a two-wheeler or a cycle? You might not be able to explain it. Isn't it? That is upaya. So all a guru is going to do, or all the gurus in the lineage are going to do to you, is to hold the cycle while you get the knack, the skill of crossing over to the next level, crossing over all the way to moksha. Okay, if you see, where do we have to go? Where do we have to go? We have to go to at least moksha. Right? Moksha state is beyond Shiva state. Okay? So, it is the skill. It is also a remedy. It is also magical. It is also whatever that you had put, a device. Right? If you look at it, the first step is to connect you to all the wonderful traditional wisdom, skill, kriyas, charyas, and a lot of available knowledge that is there. First to get connected, first to get enrolled. How will the gurus come to help you? You know, even the mother doesn't feed a child if the child doesn't cry, isn't it? So the cry for help, the cry for, okay, please help me achieve moksha, please help me achieve shivatva. That cry is the chanting of the mantra that we give you. And once you feel connected, you'll be taken to the next step, the second step, which is Anavopaya. Okay? What is Anavopaya? Anavopaya is where you're feeling I am different from Shiva. If any of you here already feel or know that I am Shiva, this session is not for you. Please take my salutations and bless this meeting so that you can help others. If you already know that you are Shiva, then it is your duty to pull others out of this samsara to achieve that Shivatva. You must join Rishikula in training others to become Shivas themselves. Okay? So Anavapaya, Anava means what? That I am an Anu. I am different from Shiva. Okay? Then step 3 is where you go into Shaktopaya, where you know that I am no more Anu, but you're feeling that I am Shakti, Shiva's Shakti. All right. You know that Shiva and Shakti are inseparable. However, we'll give you techniques where you'll be able to visualize yourself as Shiva's Shakti and acquire a divine body, acquire a divine incarnation as Shakti, and then cross over. The Sanskrit word for crossing over is Dharana. You know, Taraka. Everybody knows what is Tarna. In Hindi also, I think it's Tarna, right? Where you can swim across. And the fourth step is Shambhabopaya, where you feel that you are Shiva. Okay, this is one of the highest Dikshas. And see, anybody can join anywhere. Okay, but this is the step by step. Depending on where you have left your, practice in your last janma, in your last life, you can join anywhere. But this is the step that we will be taking you, because you and we, both of us, have to determine where you are. Okay? Shambhavopaya is where we will be working with your Shiva Tattva. Okay? So there is, Shaktipata happening here, there is Shivapata happening here, there is Pranapata, which is at Anava level, Pranapata, Shaktipata, Shivapata, and there is a Anupaya. Anupaya means no means. Okay? Which was what, by the grace of Guru, I was given in this life, which is just one mantra. Just this mantra that I'm going to give you at the end of this session could liberate you and make you sure. It could be just a look of the Guru, one sight of the Guru. Or anything for that matter. Why just Guru? Just a photograph, a beautiful mountain, a flowing river, the chirping of the bird. Anything can liberate you. If your sadhana has reached a stage where anything can trigger you. In fact, once you reach the stage of Shambhavopaya, you will understand that you yourself have left so many clues in your previous births to remember yourself. To remember that you are Shiva. So what happened to all these knowledge? What happened to all these sadhana that you have done? See, the very fact that you are here already, I know that we are connected somehow. You are connected to the Natha Rishi Parampara. It is not a coincidence. There are no coincidences in life. Okay? So these are the 5 Upaya Dikshas. Upaya. Okay? Okay. Okay, this runs very fast. Okay. So here, so I'm not, if you want me to, I will go in detail as to how we work on this. Just tell me if you want me to. And I'll be going step by step as to where we left last time in the Rishi tradition. Do you want me to go in depth? Or shall I open up for questions? Vivek, do you want me to go in detail? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. See, yes. Now, last time, okay, I want everybody to, visualize. I think everybody here is already a sadhaka. to visualize all the chakras. And all of you know that each chakra has one tattva associated with it. The Mooladhara is about Prithvi tattva, or Prithvi tattva is, kind of, how do you say, embedded itself in the Mooladhara chakra. The Jala tattva is embedded in the Swadhisthana. The Agni tattva is embedded in the Manipuraka, and the Vayu tattva is embedded in the Anahata, which is the heart center, and the space is embedded in your throat chakra, which is Vishuddhi. We also have a couple of chakras which we work on in the Natha Rishi Kula, but not important right now. Okay, the Talu and the Bindu. But the Agya chakra is where we are connected, or we are working with the Manas, and the Manas itself is embedded there. Then, we have Chaitanya. Chaitanya is at the Sahasrara. Now, we had reached a stage where I was telling you that your hearts must be open for any further practice. So what we do here is that we bring at that stage, what is the speciality of our tradition? Okay, is once you have crossed the Manipuraka, or once you have finished the Agnipada, I was telling you that Agnipada, when you have heated up your body so that all the nadis, we consider that there are 72,000 nadis. Okay, some say 16,000, we say 72,000. It doesn't matter. More number of nadis doesn't mean anything. Just that you can feel more. Okay. So once your nadis become fluidic, because they're frozen right now. Okay. So there are so many emotional blockages. You have past karmas that need to be opened up through the channels. Only once your channels are active and running, okay, they become fluidic, then we go into the Vayupada. Okay, in the Vayupada, what we are going to do is we are going to work simultaneously from your Sahasrara. We are going to pull the Manas Tattva, and from the bottom. Okay, 1 second. Let me stop this so I think you can see my action. So from the top, we are going to pull the Manas Tattva, and from the bottom, from the Mooladhara, we are going to pull the Agni. Okay. I'm sorry about this. So we are going to bring both of them and fuse them at the heart. So as soon as they get fused at the heart, there is an expansion of your own self spreading across. Okay. So from the top, from the bottom, they have to meet at the heart. Is that clear? Can everybody say yes, so that I know you have understood what I'm saying? Can you just type yes or Adesh? Typing is better. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So once the meeting happens at the heart, this is where we start balancing, because your right and left is already balanced. Okay. The masculine and the feminine, the Ida and the Pingala are already balanced before you reach this stage. Okay. So you are, vertically balanced, you're horizontally balanced, and then the magic happens. They have found that the heart has its own, nerves. The heart is the second brain of the body, which we have been saying from a long time. In Hindi, they say, Mera man kharab hai. In Kannada, they say, Nan manas sarila. In Tamil also, I'm sure that they use the word manas for the heart. Can you close this, please? Just walk behind the light. So, the manas is used for both the heart as well as the brain. When we talk about man, and here at the Rishi stage, we start working on the combined manas of the gut, which contains the 33 crore devatas, which is your gut brain. Then we integrate it with the heart brain and, of course, your own head brain. So once you have this wonderful integration of all the three manas, you can go forward. See, at this stage, you start getting a lot of siddhis. You get, mastery over time and space, perception. Your consciousness is expanded beyond your imagination. This is when you actually get connected to all the rishis. And this is not imagination, by the way. This is for real. We have heard of so many siddhas who could manifest things, who can read your mind, who can actually manipulate, the happenings. Then the question is, why is India this way? Why are we not doing it? Because most of these siddhas don't want to use this. One of the, I would like to share, one of the tarkas that I had in Shambhala was whether we should take somebody else's karma. Okay? Like Jesus Christ. Jesus took all the karma of all the people in Jerusalem at that point of time. And then he promised, for as long as there are people, I will be taking their karma. I am of the opinion that taking somebody else's karma actually, steals their own essence of life. If I were to take, for example, Nirveda's karma, then what is left in Nirveda's life? Where is his sadhana? Yeah, but if we guide each one of you, then the game of life is so much better. It is so meaningful, isn't it? So the guidance we will give, the game you have to play. Is that a deal? Just type Adesh or something so that I know everybody is on the same. Can you type Adesh? I'll wait. Okay. Just one person. Okay. Fantastic. So if you look at that is why the Natha Sampradaya has more or less been called the Siddha Sampradaya also. But you should not get, I've been telling you in the last session, I'm telling you again, please do not be stuck with siddhis. Siddhi is not our goal. Moksha is our goal. Shivatva is our goal. Okay? And once you have reached the Shuddha Vidya, where you are able to see reality as it is, you become awakened to a participatory manifestation of reality. You will start understanding that you are also participating in this reality. And what you are doing all along is akin to, sanding the tires so that it will go smoother. Most of the people that I've encountered on the path are trying to sand the tire for a smooth ride. Isn't that crazy? Anybody who has a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, you will agree with me that the better the thread, the more the grip. Isn't it? But what is happening to the sadhakas on the path now? They're trying to smoothen the tire. How? They are trying to find shortcuts. They are trying to find external help. See, these kriyas that are given, the Akasha Kriya, you must also know that Akasha is Avakasha. Okay? Akasha space is actually potentiality to connect simultaneously with many different elements. This is where we acquire what we call as a light body, a photon body. And modern science has also found that photons can communicate in space simultaneously. Simultaneously. Can you believe it? Science is coming here. Science is becoming more and more siddha. Okay? So once you enter the infinite space, this is where you will find connection with all the higher beings and the lower beings. So that is why the guidance from a kula, the guidance from a lineage of masters is very important, because you will be protected against all dark forces. Trust me, there is a war going on between light and darkness, between the Asuri Shaktis and the Daivi Shaktis. It is always going on. So we need to have that protection. Okay? And I am told by all the Kula Gurus that the protection is available to everybody who chants and get Diksha, initiation. That is why initiation is so important. We've all heard of the story how, a rishi was meditating and then Indra sent some Apsara, some Asura sent something. There'll be attack from both sides. A rishi is actually acquiring the same status as Indra, the Lord of heaven. Heaven will be at your feet once you go into the next sadhana. The next sadhana, that is Turyatita sadhana. When you get into the Turyatita avastha, the Aishwarya, the Ishwaratva, the Sarvajnata, simultaneously you are participating in making everything a reality. A Maharishi can never lie, because even the lie of a Maharishi becomes truth. You understand? He cannot lie. Okay? There are some kriyas that the Maharishi undergoes here, which is basically being guided by the higher rishis, the Shambhala, the Siddhashrama rishis, the Sapta rishis. Here, majority of the work is to help all those Shivas who are lower than you to reach the stage of Shiva. What else is there? That is why we need to have each and every one of your hearts open. Because if we give this technology to somebody of a lesser caliber, whose heart is not open, so much power and knowledge can be misused. We've had that kind of instances in the past. We have had so many destructive people, even in recent history, like Pol Pot. How many of you know about Pol Pot? Pol Pot was a very strong occultist, and he killed more than 1 crore people in Cambodia as a dictator. Because you become so powerful that you can start affecting the lives of people. Right now, we need you, and the number that has been given to me is 1,12,000 rishis to be created, so that we can go into a new turning of the dharma. Dharma chakra pravartana again has to happen. Bharatyana is the first state. That is the spatial, work. After Bharatyana, which is on ground, we have to change the cycle of time before we can change the cycle of manas, of the yuga itself. Haven't we heard that each yuga has its own qualities? Kali Yuga has something else, Dwapar Yuga has something else, Treta Yuga has something else. The quality of people who are living here changes. Don't you want to be a part of something as phenomenal as this? This is the invitation. Let me tell you, this is Swami Karya as well as Swakarya. you are also reaching the Shivatva. Simultaneously, you are pulling everybody who is lower than you into Shivatva itself. So you go one step up, everybody below you goes one step up. And that is how it has been embedded. The only criteria is your heart must be open. So what I spoke about, combining the vertical and the horizontal, masculine and feminine energies at your heart becomes this wonderful machine which can take all the visha, all the negativity of everything around you and convert it into amrita. Can I tell you a small story or remind you the small story of Samudra Manthana, where the Devas and the Asuras got together? The dark and the light forces got together to churn, to bring out the ambrosia of immortality. The same thing happens. Where do you think that is happening? That is happening in your Merudanda also. Your own body. So in that body, you have to develop the system, the capacity to drink not just your visha, the visha of your kula, your friends. Shiva drinks the visha of the entire universe, multiverses. And you are heading to be the same Shiva. You are that. To achieve that kind of Shivatva, you need to understand how to convert all negativity into positivity. You need to bring more and more people into the Shiva Tattva. Oh, no, I will become full Shiva, then I'll help people. What, Gurunatha, you are asking me to drink people's poison? We will train you. We are only asking you to help people who are not up to your level. Indeed, Alak Adesh. Right? Now, if you look at the last Kriya, which is we call as Shakti Kriya, Manaspada, there is the Antara Shuddhi. In Antara Shuddhi, there is Bhairava and Yakshini Sadhana. Of course, I can give Bhairava Sadhana to any of you who wants to fight Adharma from tomorrow. The Bhairavas are the special forces of the Dharma world. We are like the para regiment. We are the special forces. So if you want Bhairava Diksha and if you find that you want to fight the Adharma as a soldier, you're most welcome. At this stage, at the stage of Maharishi, we will also get trained in the art of transferring your sadhana to the next life. You know, there was this question, can we transfer anything from this life to the next life? Definitely all your karmas and all your sadhanas also. Don't leave your sadhana and siddhis back. How do you do that? There's a very proper process. There are kriyas and charyas where you can transfer everything. Or you can take a sankalpa and say, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Every time there is a dharma on earth, I will come back. And in the last session, I told you how the vertical journey of Kundalini is nothing but the yana, the journey of Nara, Narayana. Each of you, if you activate and start the journey of Kundalini, become Narayana. The next avatara of Narayana, Kalki, is nothing but a collective consciousness of rishis who have all awakened their kundalinis are moving towards the Sahasrara. Each one of you is a potential Kalki. All these 1,12,000 rishis that will join this collectively is the Kalki movement. Okay? And this is how the journey from where you are to Shiva Tattva is reached. Of course, the higher levels of how to reincarnate yourself, how to be born in the right body, to find the right family, I cannot disclose in this open session. Okay. With this, I will pause and take any questions that you may have. And I expect you to have a lot of questions. Just raise your hands so I can call out, and then we can start answering questions. I must be a real good guru. Nobody has any questions. Either they have understood everything or they have understood nothing. Yes, Nirveda, you have a question.
If all 1,12,000 rishis become, like you said, will it come to Satya Yuga then?
So Nirveda's question is, if we get 1,12,000 rishis together to jointly participate in the Kalki movement, then can the yuga change to Satya Yuga? Okay, because we've been talking here, and let me tell you, the cycle is always from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. At least these 1,12,000 rishis will be ushering in the dawn of a Satya Yuga to a large number of people. Okay, of course, there'll always be higher and lower beings. The states of awareness, the states of Shivatva is always going to be there. These 7 levels are always going to be there. But a majority of people will start, transforming themselves into the Satya Yuga. And that is our job. Whether it happens in this life, the next life, or the coming, all those lives. But let us take the Sankalpa here and now. Okay? You are ready. Wonderful. How many of you are ready? Just type Adesh. Just type Adesh. All those people who are ready. Wonderful. I see Chaitanya Bharti ji has a question or more a statement. Even if we don't transfer, it will be automatically transferred. That is what I'm saying. From automatic mode, you must become the controller. Okay? You must become the controller. We will bring you to a stage where you can escape and reach moksha. That's why, even though the state of moksha is higher than Shiva, not Paramashiva, Sadashiva, but we are asking you to remain as Sadashiva so that you can come back again. For the benefit of all your brothers, all the lower Shivas, we want you to come back. It becomes imperative that we pull everybody one by one. Isn't it? That is what we said. Automatically, you might become, you might receive mokshatva and then escape out of the samsara. But a higher goal is to stay back. Be a part of the Rishikula. Okay. Yes. More questions?
My friend asked, how can someone join the Natha Sampradaya and stay with you?
How you can join the Natha Rishi Kula and stay with you. Yes. See, the thing is, that is why after another 2-3 minutes, I will be sharing a mantra which will connect you with the Parampara, with the Sampradaya, the Paramaguru, who we call as Adi Shakti Natha, who is Shiva and Shakti fused together. Okay? And we will be awakening the Paramaguru inside of you. The Shiva in you will get connected to the highest Shiva Tattva that is possible to comprehend as a lay person, uninitiated person. Okay? So let me 1 second. So once you start the mental chanting of the mantra, the first week you have to do 21 times, only 21 times. It's a very small mantra. Only 21 times you have to chant. The second week you have to chant 54 times. And the third week you have to chant 108 times. Okay? And if you feel a strong connection See, we are here not looking for quantity. We don't want to convert everybody into a rishi. We cannot. We are interested in quality. Okay. Tanishji, I have to ask you to mute. I'll mute it. There are some messages coming in. Let me read that before. Meenaji says, Guruji, we thought that Natha Sampradaya is continuing. So how come you said that after 1,000 years? Yeah. Natha Sampradaya as a sannyasi tradition is on. There are the Dwadasha, Natha Mats, obviously, that is going on. I said Natha Rishi Kula. The difference between the Navanatha tradition and ours is that we have no such restrictions. In fact, I myself am married, and we work with our Shaktis physically, and we are integrated in this world. None of us are monastic. So when we say Natha Rishi Kula, we are talking about the Rishi Tattva, the Nathas who are going to work with their yoginis in physical forms. Of course, the Navanatha Sampradaya technically also has to work with yoginis who are in their imagination. But here we are doing it in reality. Okay. Natha Rishi Kala is the golden Shiva Shakti crown. Whatever works for you. For me, by Adesh, my transmission is to open this up. If you look at the first Navanatha, okay, Matsyendranath or Meenanath, as your namesake, he was married, he fathered a son, okay, and he was able to bring out to the world the Kularnava Tantra. Of course, we are not going into any of these texts right now, okay, but the avarana, the anavarana of the Kula Tattva is the Rishi Kula Tattva. So that is how we are also connected. And nobody in the last 1,000 years have openly, I'm not saying that the Sampradaya doesn't exist. Of course it does, but it has gone underground. We are opening up the whole Natha Rishi Kula to public now. Okay, after 1,000 years, after the, the Trika tradition went underground, except for Kashmir, it didn't exist anywhere else. You know that there are people with the surname Kaul, who are Kaulas, who belong to the Kula. But that was only restricted to Kashmir. And not many of them were also adept practitioners. So I have been given the Adesh to open it up to public. And I would request you not to waste this life, which has come to us after so many janmas, but to take it forward towards your goal of becoming a complete Shiva, at least reach the stage of Sadashiva. Automatically, Sadashiva becomes Paramashiva whenever Sadashiva desires. So till there, we have the blueprint, we have the route map, we know how to do it. And I will be more than happy to share it with you if you can progress. One more question, after which I will be giving you the mantra. And for all those people who are staying till the end, I will also be giving a mudra attached to the mantra. So stay. One more question. I'm doing without counting, maybe 5 minutes. Should I stop at 21 times? Once I start, difficult to count. Vivek, great. Yeah, you don't have to overchant it. Don't overdo it. Okay. Guruji had taught a beautiful method to count on fingers while chanting. Chaitanya ji shared it with us. Yeah. I think Vivek is aware of doing that chant the thing because he is also aware. He is also a siddha who just needs to wake up to his reality, which he will soon. So if we have finished, yes, I will use that method. Okay, Vivek, you can use that method. And I'm not admitting anybody at this time. So let me come to the mantra. The mantra is, I will share if you want. Oh no, it becomes difficult to edit it out because this There are only 2 or 3 simple instructions. Please do not share this mantra with anyone right now, because we want you to feel connected to it. After 3 weeks, you please come back, get in touch with Nirvedananda Natha on WhatsApp. I can give you his number on WhatsApp. I can type it here also. Can you type your number, please, to everybody? 8880386108. After 3 weeks, there are, I think, 2 or 3 people who have joined us from last week, so they must have finished 1 week of chanting already. People who have come in new, please do this for 3 weeks, either as soon as you wake up early in the morning or the last thing before you sleep. Last thing is completely the last thing, like you're going to fall asleep. You've done everything, you've brushed your teeth, you've washed your face, whatever you do before you sleep. You come, you sit on the bed and chant this mantra 21 times for the first week, 54 times for the second week, and 108 times for the third week, and then get in touch with Nirvedananda Natha. The number has been shared, 8880386108. What if you don't feel connected? No problem. It was 1 hour with us and the Rishikula. I am happy that Shiva has blessed you with so much time with us. And early in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you even get down from your bed, just sit straight with your back straight and chant it 21 times first week, 54 times second week, and 108 third week. I'm going to teach you a mudra. This is called the Shakti Mudra. Okay. Please do not share this mantra with anybody. And once you feel connected, once you have progressed, always, like they say, I like repeating this. In the airlines, when you fly, they say, in case of an emergency, first put the oxygen mask to your own face. Once you are safe, then you help someone else. So like I said, don't try to take anybody else's karma right now. At least reach the stage of a rishi, of a yogi, and then you start helping people, because your own sadhana will be compromised. Okay? So kindly do this mantra. This is a great mantra. Once you feel connected to the Natha Sampradaya, to the Rishikula, then we will take it forward. Okay? With a small prayer, let us end this session. Adesh, alak Adesh, Aghore Bhyo, Ghora Tarebhyaha, Sarvebhyaha, Sarvebhyo, Namaste Rudra Rupebhyaha, Shri Shambho Ramanatha, Adesh, alak Adesh.